My name is Sarah, and at the age of 20 months, my son had a kidney transplant. Jackson was born full term via C-section. Right away, they realized quickly he was in a lot of trouble. There was very little amniotic fluid, and his lungs were need a lot of help. And NICU came in right away. He was airlifted to Minneapolis, which is 2.5 hours from us. Jackson was diagnosed with posterior urethral valves, 1 in 8,000 chance for little boys. Our daughter had just turned 8 years old. So we prepared her for little brother, you will come to the hospital, we will celebrate. And the experience for her was nothing near that. Transplant came up while he was in the NICU. They said there's a chance he'll need to be transplanted, but it's rare with his condition. Quickly, we learned he'd be lucky if he made it to 7 years old. But things really escalated fast. And so we prepared for transplant right about the 1 year mark. Our 20-year-old nephew, his cousin, was his donor. So it was a very young, good, healthy kidney. So we were very lucky. We really leaned on each other. And I would say our extended family was amazing. We were so lucky to have grandparents and uncles and aunts and cousins that just rallied around us. We didn't have any sort of assistance as far as mental health went, and I really wish looking back that we had. But when you're in the moment, you're just doing everything you can to keep everything together. So you don't even think about those things when you're in the moment. Jackson's health has really impacted all of us. I worked full time and I became a stay-at-home mom to be there every day for him. It was very stressful. I think our daughter, she'd see things, him getting sick, and her reaction was always to kind of find a quiet place. So I wish she could speak on this because I know her perspective is just so different than mine, as my husband's probably is. But lots of sacrifices are put into a family when you have a child that's vulnerable. And all of those sacrifices, I think, have impacted our family unit. And over the years, we've just always had a risk versus reward outlook on every decision we make, which I think other families maybe take for granted that they can just go and do as a family these things. And as a caregiver in a family with a vulnerable child, you just can't take those chances. Jackson is now in 6th grade. He's so delightful. He will go through the house and humming, skipping at 12 years old. He has a love for life and a joy that I don't think I've seen in any other human. And he's really gotten into like video gaming, and he goes to virtual school that is physically 6 hours away from us, but that has provided him really deep friendships. And it's what he loves. He loves to code, to program, to create. The perspective from him reminds you just how lucky we all are to be healthy and to not take anything for granted. I think he's taught me a lot about that. I would say I wish that other caregivers knew to think about kind of self-care from the beginning, even though you are just immersed in this world and you really don't care about anything else. You want to be the one providing, to find things that still kind of build you up so you're not kind of lost in all of it. Um, and to just keep leaning on each other. If you're married, your partner, just always support each other, and make sure that that relationship is growing stronger. Kidney transplant doesn't mean that you've been cured. It's a lifetime, especially for children, of labs, medications. And I feel like sometimes people think he had his kidney transplant, the end of the story, where in fact he has the potential to have many transplants throughout his life. And we don't know if that will be tomorrow or next week or in 20 years. And I just, I, I personally wish more people realized that the transplant is awesome and has given us so much. Um, we're not done with with this journey.